Hey everybody, YouTube, it's me, Ask Miss Cris. Just sitting here, thought I'd pop out a video and see what I would come up with. I had an article on paper that I wanted to talk about because I thought it was pretty interesting. If you see me looking that way, it is because the man is playing Call of Duty and I'm easily distracted. We all know my ability to stay focused, or lack thereof. First, a thank you to everybody who watched my crocheting videos, all 2 of you. I appreciate it. No. That was just fun to do. It's something I've been spending my time with, so I really wanted to just get that out there. He got poisoned. He just got killed. Anywho, I guess the main reason why I wanted to do a video was wanted to update everybody and say, hey, how y'all doing? I'm doing great. But there was an article. There's a guy who, I don't know. There's a guy, can't even remember his name, Bake, something like that. He writes kind of feel-good stories, or people who have an interesting tale to tell kind of thing. Every once in a while, someone must piss in his Cheerios or something in the morning. I don't know, because every once in a while, he writes an article that actually can ruffle some feathers, which I'm very okay with stuff like that, because sometimes to educate people, you have to ruffle feathers. It's a story of the Sorry. It's a story of a lady. She was homeless here in my city, and I've had some opinions of this place since I moved here, which most of the people who live here don't agree with. However, this story exemplifies my opinions completely. The lady was homeless, and she had bipolar. She had bipolar disorder. Apparently she had family. I don't know if she had kids, but they mentioned she had family members. But her condition got so bad, she tried to seek medical help. But her insurance stopped paying for it, so she was kicked out. She couldn't get her medicine. Ended up homeless. So she's trying to get care for her mental disorder. She's being turned away by a ton of places. But she also likes to draw. She said really the only compassion she got in this city was from one person at some little local cheap store, gave her a pad of drawing paper and some pens. And what little money she did make, she made it drawing and then sitting out with her sketch. It's just sketches. I mean, it's nothing professional. And selling those to anybody who might take pity upon her or like it, whichever the case may be. And of course, she's having these problems. She can't get into a shelter because all the shelters are full. People kind of snub her, mock her, make fun of her. I mean, she said, she can hear things, people saying about her. There was one guy who worked downtown. He had a hot dog cart, I guess. She was occasionally that he would give her a hot dog. So you see compassion in these itty bitty pods, but as a whole, people just didn't want to deal with her. They didn't want to admit that she existed. They just wanted to push her out and get her away. Well, this lady, she had a bipolar, she had a manic type stage, and she hitched a ride with a stranger, a trucker, to Hannibal, Missouri. Well, she's been there 7 weeks. It was 7 weeks at the time the article was written, and it was published 2 or 3 days ago, maybe. So, maybe 8 weeks at the max now. This lady's been in Hannibal for 2 months. She has received help from a local shelter, and they got her in contact with a church, and the church has helped her find a roommate who is now a very good friend of hers. In all of this time, obviously she didn't have a job. She was working with homeless shelters and organizations that were run by the city, not private organizations, which homeless people here have to rely on, which are often full or underfunded. She ended up getting help from this couple public organizations. One day she said she was walking down the road there in the town, and there was an art association, a gallery, had some stuff in the art association. There were some people inside, and she went in to look around, anticipating getting kicked out, much like she was here multiple times over. But when they found out that she had an interest in drawing, they provided her with art supplies, real art supplies. Invited her to come back and to draw and, to take them with her because she was now living with her roommate. And now, 8 weeks into her stay, she has a show at the gallery. She went from being completely homeless and shunned in the city in which I live in, and is now an artist and moving her way up in life in another state, in another city. A lot about the city that I live in. I'm rather disgusted at the thought of this, and of course this was it was on the online paper. There were a lot of people, again in the spirit of my opinion of the people, the majority of the people who live in this city, saying, how dare you write an article that makes our city look so bad? Lord forbid you take responsibility for the behaviors of your own city and your community and own up to them and say, hey, maybe the article's real and we really needed to have some compassion for people. Lord forbid they do that. No, they scoff the journalists, who I think did a fantastic job in writing the story. And before you say, oh, Miss Cris, that's horrible, there are really nice people out there. There are nice people that live in this city. I've met them. I have some friends here that are very compassionate individuals. However, where I work, across the road, a very busy road, but across the road, the Salvation Army has procured, I think it's a 3 or 4 story building. It was an old, I don't even know what was there, but it is a very large building, and they are going to be putting in rooms. Yay! International organization, obviously it's going to be open to the public. It's not going to be relying on a church or some mom and pop organization where their funding is all from volunteers, donations, and things like that. The Salvation Army has some backing. There are people that where I work, and I hear it almost on a daily basis now, the closer and closer and closer it gets to the Salvation Army being open for these homeless people. Statements, wow, there this goes. Now we're going to have to be careful walking across the parking lot. Or, wow, we're going to have to really lock our cars down now because people are going to be stealing stuff left and right. Or, wow, it's just going to be disgusting because it's going to smell like piss. With the pissing in the street. The other day I literally was on the elevator. It was earlier this week. It was Monday or Tuesday. And a lady, they were talking about it. It's all the rage. They were talking about it, and I'm just standing on the elevator, and she says, my heart really goes out to these people. And I thought, wow, a compassionate individual. And then she says, but I really don't want them to be anywhere near me. Well, they got to be somewhere. And they're people. Last I checked, everybody who's a thief they usually have a home. I mean, homeless people, sure, they steal, but so do plenty of people who own homes. Who is the Enron guy? You have all these people are millionaires and they're stealing money, so it's not just homeless people. But, we have a problem at our library here in town. It seems to be the place, where a lot of homeless people hang out. Everybody wants them gone, but they don't want to find a solution on, and it's really upsetting to me. So, I want to say hats off to the guy whose name I can't remember who writes articles for our paper. I mean, it was a great article, but, it just, every once in a while you get to look at your city. Sometimes it's not very pleasant. So, Have a great night, everybody.